2023 paper, identify the limitations of e-learning in an organization. So what is e-learning? E-learning is electronic learning. Learning by use of electronic gadgets. It can be a phone, it can be a PC, personal computer, it can be through a desktop. So long as you're doing it electronically by use of an electronic gadget, then that is e-learning. So what are some of the limitations associated with e-learning? Number one, e-learning relies on digital access and know-how. If you don't have that know-how on how to operate a computer or on how to operate a smartphone, will you be able to learn? No. So e-learning relies on digital access, how much you can access the digital equipments, and the know-how, the knowledge of you operating them. That is number one. So that is a challenge. Number two, face-to-face interaction. Yes, learning does away with the normal way of face-to-face interaction, e-learning that is. When people learn online or when people learn electronica, that means it's not a must for them to be in one place. You can be in different places, different geographical regions, and still learning to take place. So because of such situation, there's less face-to-face interaction, which sometimes can be important, but through e-learning, that's face-to-face interaction is minimized. So that is the second challenge or limitation. Number three, also e-learning can sometimes be shoddy, especially if poor quality training is experienced. Now that means also that will result in poor quality of work. So that can also be a challenge when it comes to e-learning. And then we have number four, technological limitations. And here they say another significant problem of online classroom is technological limitations, such as internet access. And for example, if you have the bundles, well and good. If you don't have the bundles, that means you cannot learn. If you have Wi-Fi, well and good, you can learn. If you don't have the Wi-Fi, that means you cannot learn. But in one way or the other, sometimes you can have these all, but because of network issues or technical issues, still you will not be able to learn. So those are some of the limitations when you talk of technological limitations. And then also lack of hands-on learning, that can also be a limitation. When you practice a lot of e-learning, that means we lack the issue of hands-on learning, whereby people can do it physically, you can practice it at that moment, basically when you're learning it, and so on and so forth. So with this method, with e-learning, you cannot be able to have hands-on learning, of which that can also be a limitation. And then we have limited social interaction. Now that it's not necessary for people to come to class to socialize. Basically, with the e-learning, people learn as they are in different places. So they'll not be able to interact with one another. So e-learning is gradually taking away the social interaction between people or between members. So those are some of the limitations that we have for e-learning. That is number 5A. And then we also have some other challenges here. Accessibility. We have potential for distraction. Instead of you concentrating with learning, you are having your smartphone, a message comes, and then you start looking at the message. And then limited feedback and clarification. So those are some of the limitations. So 5A is done. And then 5B, we have examine the benefits of micro-learning to an organization. What are some of the benefits of micro-learning to an organization? So what is micro-learning? Micro-learning is a process whereby the learning is broken down into small facets, which could be manageable and which could help you learn easily and quickly and be able to grab and understand everything. So what are some of the benefits of this kind of learning? It's more learner-centric approach, yes. It gives you the motivation because you don't have to read the whole day. Just a few times and you're good to go. It's more learner-centric. It considers you as a learner. So that is a benefit. And then it increases knowledge retention because remember, it does not have things to do with overload because the learning has been broken down into manageable and small pieces. So it increases knowledge retention. You'll not have to read until you forget everything, but just read and capture and you're good to go. And then also it's less time consuming because of how it has been organized. And then also enables learning on the learning on the go. And when you talk of learning on the go, this means micro-learning empowers learning with just in time, where learners can learn on the go and at the point of need. You only do it when necessary. When not necessary, you don't do it. So that is also a benefit. And then also it improves motivation. It motivates you. There's nothing bad like a runner or a student. You go for a certain course and then you find that course is very much overwhelming, a lot of notes to read, a lot of things to grab. It will really demotivate you. You'll not have the psych because of the because of the monotonous and the overload of things and so on and so forth. But once this learning has been broken down into small and manageable pieces, you just do it at a very easy way, in a very easy way, very efficiently, very conveniently, and that motivates you because you just need small time for you to read and understand and grab, and that's all. So it motivates you, it gives you the urge and the zeal to continue learning, rather than when you go you find a whole journal for you to read of maybe 1,000 pages and so on and so forth. That could be very much overwhelming for students. So it improves motivation, and then also it improves knowledge retention. That is what we talked in number 2. So those are some of the benefits of micro learning to an organization, and that is our number 5. Thank you. Let's meet in our last question, which will be number 6.